Okay, so today we're going to be learning about metric conversions. And whenever I talk about metric conversions, I'm going to be using this mnemonic device. You may have heard me say it before in class. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. I'm going to use this device to help me manipulate numbers from one metric conversion and move them easily or convert them into another metric unit. So whenever I'm talking about this King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, each of these first letters you'll notice are underlined and each of those letters stand for a different unit or metric conversion. So the king, when I see king, I'm going to relate that to the kilo whenever I am talking about metric conversions, which is equal to 1,000, a whole. You'll notice that the H is related to hecto, which is equivalent to 100 wholes. And then I have the died, which stands for deca, and I bet you could have guessed following that pattern that that is equivalent to 10. Then we get to the by, which stands for base. So the base is kind of my central location. That's where everything starts. So the base is where my meters, my liters, and my grams are located. And that is equivalent to 1 whole of something. Then we get on the other side, the deci, which stands for drinking in the mnemonic device, and that is 1/10. And you'll go through and see that centa, can you guess what that's probably going to be equivalent to? You got it, 1/100th. And finally the milli or milla, and that is congruent to 1/1000th. So I really want you to keep that in mind today. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay, so here we go. We're going to move on to some examples. You notice again my mnemonic device, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. I'm going to go ahead and point this out to you again one more time, that each of the letters, the beginning capital letters or initial letter of each word stands for, a different unit of measure in the metric system. Here's my first example. If I have 1 59/100ths of a liter and I need to convert that to a milliliter, I can use my little mnemonic device. King Henry died Monday by drinking chocolate milk. Oh, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, sorry. So I'm going to insert the initial letters for each of the words in my mnemonic device. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. And I noticed that my beginning value is in liters. Do you remember where the liters live on this mnemonic device? That's right, they live right here in the base system. So I'm starting right here. That's again where my meters, my liters, and my grams reside. So if I have 1 59/100ths of a liter, I'm going to start right there at my base. And then do you remember where the milliliters were? That's right, they're right here. So I started at my base and I'm going to have to make 1, 2, 3 jumps to end up right here in the milliliters units. That's exactly where I want to be. So whichever way that I make a jump on my mnemonic device is the exact same way that I'm going to move my decimal in my original number. So if I moved it 3 times to the right on my mnemonic device, I'm going to find my decimal and move it 1, 2, 3 times to the right here. And I can place my decimal right here. And now I know that 1 59/100ths of a liter is equivalent to 1,590 milliliters. And that makes sense because we know that milliliters are much smaller than a liter. So it's going to take a lot of milliliters to be equivalent to a liter. Okay, our next example. Okay, here's my second example. I have 3,000 meters, and I want to know what 3,000 meters is in equivalence to kilometers. So I have to look and see where my original unit is. And I'm working in the meters right now. So my first step is to write down my mnemonic device. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Then I go back to my question, and I realize that my original number is in meters. Do you remember where the meters live? They do. They live right here in the base system. That's where my meters, my grams, and my liters live. So I have to think about 3,000 meters, and I want to take it to kilometers. So which way am I going to be moving this time? I'm going to move to the left, and I'm going to make 1, 2, 3 jumps to the left. So that tells me that I need to move my decimal place 3 places. Do you see a decimal in this number? I don't, but do you know where I could put one in order to not change its value but have one to move? Yes, I can always put a decimal place at the end of a number and not change its value. So here's my decimal. I need to move it in the direction left, and I need to move it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So now I'm going to replace that comma that was there with a decimal point, and I can write 3.0000 forever, or I can just write 3.0. Would I be wrong if I just wrote the whole number 3? No, I wouldn't. So now I know that 3,000 meters is equivalent to 3 kilometers. Good job. Let's move on. First, I'm going to copy my mnemonic device, and I'm going to place it right here. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay, my first step here is to think about what unit is my number in right now. It's in kilograms. The kilograms are going to live right here with the prefix kilo. So if I start here, what do I need to convert it to? A gram. That's right. But I don't see a G anywhere on my mnemonic device. Where do the grams live? Yes. They're my base system. They're in the meters, the liters, and the grams. So I need to convert 35 7/10 of a kilogram to a gram. So if I start here, I need to figure out 1, 2, 3 movements to the right have made me land right here where the grams live. So I have 35 7/10 kilograms. I need to move my decimal place 1, 2, 3 times to the right. I locate my decimal place. I move it 1, 2, 3 times to the right. There you go. Add my decimal. What should I put here in these empty spaces? I should put zeros. Those will be my placeholders. Okay, so my answer is going to be 3, 5, 7, 0, 0. That's not how I'm going to leave my number though. I need to remember where my comma is going to go. So I'm going to practice with my place value. I know this is the ones place, tens, hundreds, here's the thousands place. So that's where I'm going to insert my comma before moving on to the next problem. All right, here's one more example. I have 267 milliliters, and I need to know what that's going to be equivalent to in liters. So if I've started here at the milliliters and I need to move to liters, which is right here with the meters, liters, and grams. I know that I need to move my decimal place from the M to the B. How many jumps do I need to make? That's 1, 2, 3 jumps. In which direction? That's right, I went to the left. So I need to move my decimal place 3 times to the left. Here again we have a number that does not have a decimal in its original number, so I have to add 1. I'm going to add it to the end because that does not change the value of my number. I move it 1, 2, 3 times to the left, and suddenly I have converted 267 milliliters to 267 thousandths of a liter. That makes sense because I know 267 milliliters. Milliliters are much smaller than liters. So whole milliliters are going to be much smaller than a liter, okay? I need to be thinking about reasonableness as I'm converting. So if you know that the relationship goes from here are the greater numbers to the smaller numbers, you can be thinking about those things as you're converting on the metric system using our mnemonic device. All right, right here we have 35 kilometers, and I want to convert those to centimeters. I know that my kilometers live right here at the K, and I need to go all the way down here to centimeters. So I'm going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps to the right. Okay, I have 35. Does not have a decimal, so I'm going to add 1, and I need to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places to the right. And I'm going to add zeros in each of those place values: ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions. 3,500,000. Okay, my final example here. And I bet you're getting excited because your homework is about to come to a conclusion. So last time, remember to always put this mnemonic device there as a visual to help you. So I have 4 5/10 of a meter, and I need to convert that to a centimeter. I know my meters live here with my meters, my liters, and what goes here? Yes, my grams. So I'm working with the meters, and I want to take it to centimeters. I'm going to move 1, 2 places to the right. So here I go. I'm going to use 4 5/10. There's already a decimal there for me to use. Move it 1, 2 times. So now I know that 4 5/10 of a meter is equivalent to 450 centimeters. Okay, don't forget to fill out your Google form, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night.